I thought that this topic would be shorter. All because I thought that there isn't really so much that I can talk about this topic, but let's talk about it better. Hey, stranger, how are you doing? My name is Lee, and these are Decapitated Thoughts. I've been called this term a bunch of time, and honestly, I've really learned not to care about what other people think of me, so it doesn't really hurt that much. And if you've been called this term, you don't have to feel bad or feel sorry, or it's I don't think it's even a negative word. And I think it's okay to be one. Whether you're a woman or a man, it's okay to be a prude. So, what does a prude mean? Or who is a prude? By general definition, a prude is a person who is or claims to be easily shocked by matters relating to sex or nudity. In Filipino, it has a sort of negative equivalent, which is maarte. But I don't really think that being a prude equates to anything negative. So I did a little bit on reading about it and found out that it's an old French word that would have meant honorable woman, or is a person that can be described as being concerned with decorum or propriety, being proper, significantly in excess of normal prevailing standards. He or she may be perceived as being more uncomfortable than most with sexuality or nudity. Well, honestly, there's really nothing wrong with being proper or having proper decorum. And I guess it's okay. It's acceptable that you can still get shocked by anything sexual or anything that pertains to nudity. I don't For me, it doesn't equate to ignorance. It doesn't equate to negativity. Really, one person can be prude because of so many reasons. And I think the prevailing reason would have to be culture. In a lot of culture that would circle around being conservative or would concern themselves about being conservative. When you raise kids, I'm not going to be shocked that they're going to be prude, because that's how it is. And being religious in some sort of way can also lead to raising kids who tend to be prude when they would grow up, because it's just that they're not really used to talking about that. I mean, honestly, I don't talk to my mom about anything sexual. Not even when I got married. Because I'm not being prude. It's just really because that's not the way they have raised us. These kinds of things are things that you don't really talk about or joke about. Not that they're not fun. On contrary, my parents are really fun, but it's just that these are the things that we don't really talk about. I don't really talk about these kinds of things to my cousins as well. So I only get to talk about these kinds of things to closest friends. And that has a lot to do with the way that you were raised and the way that things were presented to you. I think I've mentioned in the last episode that we don't really have like a proper sex education here. So it's one of those little things that can really push you to becoming prude. Number two, maybe that person have had sexual trauma or trauma with nudity, and that led them ultimately to becoming a prude. That's fine. Don't force people into something that you're comfortable and they're not comfortable with, especially that we don't know each other's story. So that person might have had that kind of story, coming from abuse, and you don't really want to trigger anything at all. So don't go judging people. And third, consider this. Maybe that person who's acting like a prude is just not really interested in you. You know? I mean, I think every girl has a freaky side. Every girl has some sort of fantasy. And it will come out naturally if the person likes you. And I think even for guys, it's just that I don't know, guys who would send you inappropriate pictures would be just one of two things. It's either they're very comfortable about their sexuality, or they lack comfort in their sexuality, that they have to prove something. Or maybe there's a third one. They're just really outright rude. Yeah, so it's either one of those three. But I think what, guys, you don't really need validation. Wait until we really want to see your magnum. Haha, your body part. I think we're gonna get there. No, I don't think. I know that you're gonna get there with that one person. You don't have to force your way in. Believe it or not, it's it feels better if that is organic. It feels better when the other person is openly sharing with you these kinds of things. And I don't know, it's more exciting that way. It kind of feels like if you really are interested in me, and you made so much effort. I'm gonna quote from that Taylor Swift song. um Girls can show you incredible things: magic, madness, heaven, sin. But let them in their own time. You don't have to hurry them up. Now, if you can't really wait, there are a lot of other girls out there. I'm not saying that all girls are prude, but I'm just, asking you to consider why they may be prude. And I think 80% of the time it's really the third reason. It's just that they're not really interested in you. Now, I think when this kind of opinion comes from a girl that it's okay to be prude, I don't really get a lot of eyebrows raised, but nobody really talks about this topic. I think it's because girls are just really afraid of being tagged as one. And I think even with guys, there's a negative connotation with the word prude. Again, it doesn't equate to anything negative. And there's really nothing wrong if you're the proper kind of person. If that's really how you were raised, that's a part of you. Then if a guy likes you, or if a girl likes you, they just have to accept it. They don't really have to force it. I believe that at some point of your relationship, you would make adjustments to it, you would make considerations to it, and you would show the other person something special that you don't really show other people. And I think when that time comes, it's more appreciated. For me, it's more appreciated. Um, Honestly, when I receive inappropriate pictures, it makes me giggle because I kind of feel like this guy has so much to prove. Maybe not to me, but to the world. And maybe he's thinking that, if I can be big for one girl, then I don't really know. It came to a point that I had been receiving a lot of these unwanted photos, that when guys would ask me for a nude photo, or, to show more, I just recycle them and send them pictures from other guys. um, yeah, well, now I find it funny. At first, it was really annoying, really, really annoying, and it kind of made me ask myself, do I look like somebody that everyone wants to do it with? I don't know about that, because when it comes to physicality, I don't have that confidence that no matter how much people would tell me that's sexy, is a mindset. I just really can't. I tried to be open, to be out there. By the way, I'm not really that prude. Once you get to know me, I can open up to you. And that's the reason why I know that girls can show you incredible things. Because I am one of those women, I'm one of those girls who are like that. And I'm learning now that it's totally fine and it's totally okay. And if people can't deal with that, they're free to leave. I know it's, sometimes you just really want to take them back in, especially if you really like them. But if you don't feel like it's time, it's okay to tell them that it's not yet time, that you're not yet comfortable. Believe it or not, if they like you, they'll stay and they'll be chivalrous about it. Chivalry's not dead, and I just have proven it the other week. And I really applaud this kid, and I would say this kid because he's younger than me. And I salute him. And no, he's taking his time, and I'm really happy about that. So it's fine. If they like you, they like you, and they will be okay with your own timeline. But if you're already on the stage that, you are already that close and all, and if it still doesn't feel okay to be open about these kinds of things to those people and you still have like hesitation, it might be one of two things: you don't really like them, or there's you're experiencing a trauma that you've never really talked about before and maybe you need help. I'm not saying by a professional, it could be just opening up to a person that you can trust and telling them about it. All right, stranger, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. That was a good topic to discuss. Stranger, I think you will be very interested in the next two topics that we'll have. It's two parts, and we're gonna talk about fantasies. First part, let's talk about romantic fantasies because guys do not really want to talk about romantic fantasies. And then we'll flip the coin on the second part. Let's talk about sexual fantasies. That's because it's an unpopular topic for girls, but guys would like to talk about them all the time. So let's try to make two worlds meet right here and understand, for the first part, understand what goes into a romantic fantasy from a girl's point of view and what goes into a sexual fantasy from a guy's point of view. All right. Thank you so much for your time, stranger. I hope that you stay safe and be back for our next episodes. Mwah. See you.